to deliver. Did you know that Master Fard Muhammad made his appearance in North America on the 4th of July? Why did the great Mahdi leave Mecca, his birthplace, and come alone to North America by himself? Why? Why would he come while America was celebrating their independence? He came to offer the ex-slave our independence from them. So he came on the 4th, so we don't have to celebrate the folly of firecrackers and foolishness, celebrating the so-called wisdom of the founding fathers of this republic, because they were great men, great white men, with not enough heart write a Declaration of Independence that truly represented the population of the United States of America today. So the 6 European countries that form the basis of what you call America made America a place of refuge, not for all the people, but for some of the people. So this has never been a country of the people, by the people, or for the people. This is a country that never was made with a woman in mind. Therefore, they had to suffer years before they could even earn the right to vote. This country was not made for the slave, because they only fashioned us as 3/5 of a human being. This country was not made for poor people. It was made for white people of privilege, white people of scholarship, white people who felt that they are the masters of God's earth and that they deserve privilege, but no lesser being deserves that privilege. How did we become lesser beings? When Master Fard Muhammad came among us, he came in the time of your celebration of a great event in the history of a nation that is now unraveling. He set before the world on that day a man. And he, Master Fard Muhammad, sets before the world on this day a man whom he has made. The two of them have made him. I found it in the Quran just a few hours ago. And though I had read it many, many times, Allah decided to place a ruler in the earth. And the angel said, "What will you produce except that which will create mischief and cause the shedding of blood?" And the wise God said, "I know what you know not." And so a world came into being a world opposite the way and the life and the will of God, though it was permitted by God. It was only permitted to exist for a short time. So I've read also, it's in the Quran many times, but this time when I read it, it said, two hands. I never read it and understood it before, but it was like he was telling me, like he said before, there'll be two of us backing you up, brother. Allah and myself. So those two men that you saw flying above your head today, as we celebrate the 90th birth anniversary of the Nation of Islam, and you saw Master Fard Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as the founders of this nation. Two hands that made the man that's standing in front of you today. Two minds fashioned his mind. Two minds fashioned his heart. So when it comes to the definition of discrimination, the definition of a standard by which God measures, a criterion. That's what you saw in all the ads, a criterion. I am not a braggadocious, arrogant human being. I am so glad that he guided me so gently over time that when I finally came into the true knowledge of who I am and what is my purpose in this life, that I could accept it and not be bowled over by it. He's presenting me to you, to the world today, as the man that the two of them made. That is to set down the leaders of this world and to make Satan fully known, that you may fall away from Satan. So when I call your name or call your function, know that God has set before you a master of your function. You see, when I made him complete and breathed into him of my spirit, fall down and make obeisance to him. And the angels did fall down, but there's always a group that think they're better, so they're driven away from the face of God, because this is a time when you hear God's voice and recognize God's voice, you have a responsibility to act on what that voice is telling you from God. Now, you may not believe that God would choose a man to grow right up among you that becomes the master of the prophets. You might not want to believe that, but it is a fact. Because no prophet can even be considered a prophet until that which he prophesied is fulfilled. And it is the fulfiller of the predictions of the prophet that seals them as prophets of God. So my work is to seal that all the prophets did not lie. A man was to come. He would be like David. He played well on an instrument, but he was powerfully spiritual. I remember the Honorable Elijah Muhammad inviting me to his home after I appeared in a play that I had written called In that play that we wrote, I acted, I sang, I danced, I played my violin, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad sent for me. When he sends for you, you either done something right or you're in deep trouble.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know what to expect that morning,
Yes, sir.
so I met my teacher. I said quickly, "Yes, sir." As that I answered so quickly, he said, "You mean that you will give all of that up for me?" And I said it again, "Yes, sir." And that was the end of my musical journey, but the beginning of a spiritual journey that makes me the man that I am today. You can take it or leave it alone. Thomas Jefferson wrote beautiful words, but his heart was not there to fulfill it. You can't say that you believe that all men are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that of these is life for liberty and the pursuit of happiness. You can't say that and hold another nation enslaved. So you weren't talking for them. So the dog whistle in President Trump's cry, "Make America great again," under it is "Make America white again." And that's why the white nationalists and those of that mindset are fleeing to his call. But the question that we have to answer today you out. You have to come on the carpet now. Don't talk to us with stupid words, because we are deeper than we once were. You can't pacify us with a smooth, crooked tongue. We know you. We've lived with you for 465 years. So either you mean what you say, or our covenant with death will be annulled, and our agreement with hell shall be destroyed. So now, the Savior offered his presence to the Constitution when he came on the 4th. But he offered us a heart that could fulfill those words. He was making us into a people that don't move on hate, that don't move on the evil of what people say or do. They move on the will of God. So we have invited you today into the garden to meet a nation that the Quran says is the best nation raised among men. For we enjoin good and we forbid evil. I walked to this podium on a white carpet. I refuse to walk on red because all you world leaders, you got your power from shedding the blood of those that may have been in opposition to you. I come on a white carpet because in the 65 years of my being a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I have never shed the blood of another human being to get where I am today. I've had 43 years, 20 before that, to prove as a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that when he was not present, I would carry his teachings into practice and never harm another human being. So you could say I'm a hater, but you can't prove it. You can say I am a bigot, but you can't prove it. You can say that I hate my homosexual, gay, lesbian, and queer and transgender brothers and sisters. You can't say that I hate them. Because I represent a God that came with the power to save. Now, to get into my work today, you're very concerned about this pestilence. I'm going to take a little drink of water. It's hot up here. Might get hot where you are from the word you're about to hear. This is a very difficult part because all of us have witnessed the effect of this coronavirus. China says it was the U.S. Army that dropped it in China, and America says Wuhan, China, produced this virus, and they could have told us what they were doing. Mr. Trump and all your scientists, why don't you put your mask on and sit down for a minute while one of the ex-slaves whom God has awakened gives you guidance on what you seek. I want to tell you right up front, you will not conquer this virus because it didn't come from Wuhan. It did not come from Fort Detrick in Maryland. Because if you had made it, you would know how to handle what you made. But you don't know this virus. It's new, it's different. It mutates and goes in different directions with a different strain of itself. You're running trying to get a vaccine like you are really interested in saving the world from this virus. I'll get to your vaccine in a minute. Mr. Trump was so happy. Oh, my president was looking forward to re-election. The stock market had gone up near 3,000. But all of a sudden, without warning, something happened. And overnight, the countries were being shut down. Think about it. God never takes a people when they're sad. In the days of Noah, he waited till they were very happy, having marriages and getting drunk and having a good time. And that's when the flood came. Be careful of your happiness, because in that hour that he was rejoicing, knowing that as long as that stock market was there and the economics of the country seemed favorable, he knew that he would be reelected. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, an unseen thing shows you how you can get messed up from something you can't see. And you're preparing for all the things that you can see, but you have no preparation for the unseen. Because it's unseen does not mean that it's unreal. And the reality of COVID is what we're facing today. I say to my beloved family, brothers and sisters, we have to set an example. I could not allow you to come out without a mask, as though because God has favored us that we are mask free, don't need it. That would make us followers of the foolishness of our government. So don't you take your mask off while you're on this property. Relieve yourself for a minute, take a few deep breaths, put it back on. But you will not talk to each other as though you're in a safe environment, because you're in the garden. A man named Jesus was in a garden. And while he was in the garden, if you remember the movie, The Passion of the Christ, darkness surrounded the beauty of the garden because Satan was watching Jesus. They wanted to get him. They wanted to attack him. But they had to wait for the right moment, the right time. So in the garden, even though it's bright, it's beautiful, it's so beautiful. And the believers decorated it with such joy. And you can feel the peace of God as you sit where you sit and walk these grounds, because the peace of God is with us. But while we are here, the plotters are plotting.
Right now.
Right now.
Yes, sir.
And they intend to do me and you harm.
Yes, sir. Right.
But here's what I need to say to you that have Bibles at home and Holy Qurans. I'm going to quote something from the book of Isaiah, the 26th chapter, the 20th and 21st verses. You can write it down. Naturally, you didn't bring your Bible into the garden, but if you brought a pen, I'm going to give you some exegesis by God's grace on these words that many have read but didn't quite understand. Isaiah says, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers and shut thy doors about thee. Hide yourself, as it were, for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed." Shelter in place. Hide yourself. Ramadan was great because the coronavirus caused us to stay home. The coronavirus made us to study our Quran more diligently. We were not able to be social beings. You're locked down. Go into your chambers. Hide yourself. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. Let's dig into this. What is an inhabitant? Whole earth. What are you coming out for, God? I come out of my place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. Let's look at definition. What is iniquity? It is when we not only sin, but we willfully sin and even find delight in committing sin. And we have sinned to the point that God no longer strives with us, and our conscience is seared. In Hebrew, of punishment. Sin is gross immorality or injustice, wickedness. Iniquity is when we not only sin, but we willfully sin and even find delight in it. Boy. Now you may say, that's not talking to me. Are you an inhabitant of the earth? Or do you live on?
Why did they take them on a stop line?